Hi, I'm Philip from Robotics Network, here with Raresh and Adriana from team 15972 TehnoZ from Pitești, Romania. They have just finished on the third place here at Câmpina League, and the robot has a very unique indexing system and a very unique shooter, and I can't wait to see what's going on behind the bot.
This video on fun is brought to you by viewers like you and also in partnership with the following. AndyMark is your one-stop shop for all your robotics competition needs. Celebrating 20 years of quality robotics parts and superior service, AndyMark employees have over 200 years of first-team experience. From mechanical and electrical products to tools and hardware, head on over to andymark.com for high-quality and affordable solutions. Founded by first alumni, FRCTs understands what teams need. High-quality apparel fast. From t-shirts to jackets and more, with a free 14-day turnaround and faster options available, you can join 200-plus teams who are already saving. Get a free quote by scanning the QR code or going to frcts.com.
So Raresh, starting with you, can you tell me a little bit about your drivetrain? What kind of motors do you use, and how do you power up your robot?
Yeah, so we are using the Gobilda 400 RPM motors, and for the drivetrain, as you can see, we are using the Mecanum wheels, and also for localization, we are using the odometry 4-bar wheels from Gobilda, and also the pinpoint.
Nice. And how much does your robot weight?
Around 12 kilograms.
Okay, have you had any issues with the robot being too heavy for the drivetrain RPM, or is it just perfect for you?
So for the first time tuning the robot, we had problems with the inertia of the robot, but after tuning the PID, it worked, and there were no more problems.
Nice. Now jumping into your intaking system, can you please describe what's going on overall, and then we'll get into specifics?
For this version of robot, we try to make a much bigger intake with 3 balls, so a big area to collect from. And we developed a V-shape guidance, so we can also collect artifacts from the sides, with the help of the mini Mecanum wheels that we put grip on them with tennis racket band.
Nice. And is your intake compliant, or is it fixed to the robot frame?
The intake is spring-loaded, and it can go up when artifacts try to go in the robot. So if an artifact try to go by side, it will be push back on this part.
Nice. And what kind of motor do you use to power the intake, and do you use any sensors on the intake system?
So for the intake, we use an 1150 Gobilda motor, and one brake beam pairs that can count how many balls are going into the robot.
Nice. And I see, I think, a counter roller there on the bottom of the intake. Does that help you, or is it a counter roller?
It was a counter roller, but right now is passive. But we are trying to make it active for the next version.
Nice. I also see that on your ramp you are using some kind of grip over there. What's going on with that grip, and does it help you improve your intaking system?
It is also a tennis racket band, and it helps us with the trajectory of the ball is more smooth and grip at the same time.
Nice. Now jumping into your sorting system, how does the transfer from the intake to the shooter work, and then how do you transfer precisely every match?
Yeah, so for the sorting system, it's interesting that we are not using a spindexer like a lot of teams, or a direct transfer. We are using a freestyle system. Let's initialize and show it to you. We are using 3 arms for 3 flickers for each ball. So after we intake like this, the balls will come each in one slot. For this slot, we have 2 sensors that detect the color of the artifacts. So we have, if we have purple right there, we want to shoot purple, it will auto detect and shoot it. And we also have automated sequence, but also manually. So as I will show you, we can choose which ball to shoot. and the balls will be pushed to the shooter system, which will be activated after the RPM of the motor will reach the target. Yeah, and we can also shoot pretty fast.
And talking about sensors, what kind of sensors do you use, and how did you make sure that they catch the correct color of the ball or the correct ball overall?
Yeah, so as I said earlier, for each slot we have two sensors, two Rev V3 color sensors, and we try to read 5 times for each sensors in a reading to get the correct value, and we will get the value from one of the sensors, not from both of them. So if one will not detect the correct color, the other one for sure will, and we will go by the value of the sensors.
I see. So you basically choose the value that sounds closer to the reality of what's going on in the robot, and
Yeah.
not both sensors.
Yeah, we try to make many checks to be sure that we are reading the correct value.
And hole is not on the trajectory of visually on the sensor.
I see. Now jumping into your shooting system, I see that you have some kind of turret going on. Can you describe the shooter system overall, and then we'll go deeper?
So for the shooter, we have a turret with 1:4 ratio with a 435 Gobilda motor. And on the shooter, we are using two 6,000 RPM Gobilda motors for more torque, but are limited to around 4,000 RPM. And for the wheel, we have Rhino 96 millimeters wheel with 6 flywheels, so we have near 1 kilogram of flywheels on the robot.
Nice. Now what I want to ask you is, have you had any problems with powering the flywheel on only one side, or did it just work well from the first time?
The flywheel is not really symmetric, so it's not a problem, but more than the limit of the wheel. If we want to put more, we probably going on the other part.
Now jumping into your hood, I see that your hood is powered by a servo and that your hood is very tiny. Did you have any problems with your hood being so narrow?
No, because just a small part of the ball are touching the angle, and we try to make it more compact for not hitting on parts of the robot.
Yes, because the ball is round shaped, we don't have to make a form like this, like a circular form. You just have to place something at the most bottom part of the ball, and it will be enough.
Okay, and I also see that you have a limelight on your shooter. Do you use that limelight to aim, or what do you use it for?
For the turret, we are using the pinpoint localization with two Gobilda pods that are on the back of the robot, right here. But we are correcting the error with the help of the limelight.
Yeah, so after the auto is completed, the robot will reach the position in the field, and if it's not the right heading for the turret, we will just go to a specific position in the field. We will press one button to reset the position, and it will work flawlessly.
Thank you so much for explaining that to me. Your robot seems incredible, and I can't wait to see how it will perform at your next competitions. But for now, I'm gonna have to let you go. So thank you so much, Team TehnoZ, for presenting us your robot.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the bell to stay up to date on future fun videos. Founded by First alumni, FRCTs understands what teams need. High-quality apparel fast. From t-shirts to jackets and more, with a free 14-day turnaround and faster options available, you can join 200+ teams who are already saving. Get a free quote by scanning the QR code or going to frcts.com. AndyMark is your one-stop shop for all your robotics competition needs. Celebrating 20 years of quality robotics parts and superior service, AndyMark employees have over 200 years of first-team experience. From mechanical and electrical products to tools and hardware, head on over to andymark.com for high-quality and affordable solutions.